Yes, let's get right to another great team member, Douglas Zader, who is tracking the president's movements overnight and his agenda for the day. And as Todd said, Doug, that trip got off to a real rocky start for the president.
Yeah, you think the president was like looking at the monitor there and it said Air Force One delayed? Because
I don't think they have that.
Yeah, I think you're right. Actually, Air Force One got off the ground. So it wasn't until it was, partway on its way to Davos that it had to make a U-turn to return to the U.S. after what was called a minor electrical issue. So he'll be delayed, but it won't change his message to world leaders at Davos. He still wants Greenland, even as NATO allies question his efforts.
Nobody's done more for NATO than I have, as I said before, in every way. Getting them to go up to 5% of GDP was something that nobody thought was possible, and pay. I think that we will work something out where NATO is going to be very happy and where we're going to be very happy. But we need it for security purposes. We need it for national security and even world security. It's very important.
The president has threatened new tariffs on 8 European nations unless there's a deal for Greenland, and he dismissed criticism from some U.S. allies who say he is endangering the NATO alliance.
I've had such a good relationship. I've made it so much better, so much stronger. It's so good now. NATO is so much stronger now. I don't agree with a lot of the things they've done, but that was done before I got there. NATO's, whether you like it or not, it's only as good as we are. If NATO doesn't have us, NATO is not very strong.
And also watching all of this play out today, the markets following a big sell-off yesterday with all of this uncertainty. Todd and Carly.
All right, Douglas Zader live for us. Doug, thank you. Let's bring in RNC Senior Advisor Danielle Alvarez. Danielle, good morning to you. So the latest comments from President Trump when asked how far he's willing to go when it comes to Greenland, his response was, "You'll find out." And that is the truth. We are all going to find out together and all hoping for a positive outcome. So how do you think these meetings are going to go between the president and other world leaders in Davos? They're expected to take place today, as both sides right now really appear to be ramping up the rhetoric.
Well, first of all, President Trump never tips his hand. And the second point I would make is that he's the ultimate deal maker in chief. I am excited to see him come to Davos, to arrive in Davos to negotiate with world leaders. We know that his goal is to have a stronger presence in Greenland for the national security of America. And none of the world leaders in Davos right now should be surprised that President Trump's agenda is and always will be America first.
Here's more from the president on why he wants Greenland. Listen.
We need Greenland for national security very badly. If we don't have it, we have a big hole in national security. I don't think they're going to push back too much. Look, we have to have it. They have to have this done. They can protect it. We need it for security purposes. We need it for national security and even world security. It's very important.
How far are you willing to go to acquire Greenland?
You'll find out.
Danielle, look, I understand that these world leaders need to save face with their constituents. They need to talk tough because that's what their people want to hear. But at the end of the day, doesn't us running Greenland inure to their benefit, because it literally makes them more safe and secure if we are running Greenland and our military is really running the show there as opposed to 50,000 people in a dog sled?
It's to the world's benefit. President Trump has been able to bring peace deals across the globe. He is the peacetime president. It was his New Year's resolution. And we know that our national security and, again, the globe will be a stronger, safer place if this action were to occur. I expect nothing short of President Trump than his success in this venture. We already saw him release the text messages of the NATO Secretary General praising him for what he's done in Syria and across the globe. We saw the text message from President Macron, who acknowledged that they have to come to the table and unite and negotiate on this issue, and the president is not going to back down.
Okay, so after the president lands, he's going to head on over to Davos and make a big speech later today. And the indication is that that speech is going to be focused on housing and affordability, really the economy here at home. But we do have a note from a senior U.S. official who suggested attendees of the annual gathering of the global elite should, quote, prepare to be insulted when Trump takes the podium, which certainly adds some intrigue to what we could be hearing later today. Tell us more about what you think we can expect.
I've been told that there are going to be several speeches from the president at Davos. One of them will include a discussion of the peace board and the historic conversations that are happening regarding Gaza. We know, again, that the president has brought 8 peace accords in his very short time in office. And one of his speeches, yes, will include America's economic strength, what he is doing on the home front domestically in order to put America first and to put our citizens first, as he's tackling affordability, as he passed the big, beautiful bill and secured tax cuts, permanent tax cuts for middle class families, as he's bringing energy dominance and lowering energy prices. So I expect this to be a very exciting trip from the president. Of course, we know that he likes to put his attention on the home front. He's only there for a short time, but I certainly imagine it will be impactful.
Despite the reporting that Carly read, which seems on the negative side, if you will, the spirit of this year's Davos is, quote, a spirit of dialogue. That comes from the organizers. So before we let you go, Danielle, does that spirit lead to a framework of a deal on Greenland before all those leaders leave?
You know, that's certainly the hope. The last time that NATO got together, Trump was dubbed Daddy. This time, when they get together, they're going to see the deal maker in chief, and I'm very excited.
Well, there's a lot of recent talk about how Davos is becoming an irrelevant thing, because it really is a lot of world leaders flying to a Swiss ski resort, and it used to be the talk would be about climate change. Right. But boy, has the relevance of this forum changed this year because of President Trump and what he'll say later today and the meetings that we'll hear about for sure as the day progresses. Danielle, thank you.